Mississippi Sawyer. A sawyer was a person that worked at a sawmill, the guy who put the wood in the rails and formed the boards from the tree with a saw blade. Sometimes the old guys had handheld saws and stuff, but it transferred over into mountain music and country music as the fiddler was known as a sawyer. The person who traveled around the countryside with a band or by himself playing for money, entertained people, they were known sawyers, fiddle players. I've met a couple of pretty good fiddle players at the CTM, the California Traditional Music Society. I don't believe they're in business anymore, but there were a couple. They were always an interesting bunch. They really were kind of the leaders of the band. You'd sit together. I'd bring a banjo or a mandolin every now and then, and they'd get in there and they had the foot stomping and they playing the fiddle tune, and they held the melody really well. It was a lot of work to keep up melody-wise with the banjo, but I could keep up with the harmony and the chord changes and bring a little body to the music, the accompaniment. Some people tried to make money making their own fiddles. They'd show up at the events and they'd have like a custom formed fiddle that they made for, I don't know, $5,000. Some of these guys making ash wood, and they'd have different kinds of oak, and they'd tell you about how they had to be real careful about the application of the lacquer and how they painted the fiddle, and they were well, I guess the guys were pretty known because they had their own booth set up at the events. Some people would buy their fiddles there, but most people not. They'd look at them. I think what happened was that everybody took the kid, trying to teach little Billy how to become a musician. They go through a lot of instruments. Everybody gets drums for the kids first, and then, somebody get them a trumpet or some kind of thing. They got to put them in the backyard or take some over to the neighbor's house to play it. But eventually they worked themselves around to getting somebody a fiddle if they're really interested in it. My grandson, he got one from school, and they're only about, I think they started at $79.99 or $129 for a full-size fiddle. And so the market for the $5,000 fiddle it went down into the history books. I think there's still people out there, making the Stradivariuses of the modern era, but I don't know but a handful of people that would ever buy a fiddle or any kind of musical instrument now for much anything. I mean, I've seen some expensive banjos. I had a couple of them. They were upwards of $2,000 if you really wanted to get one. But banjos have a lot of metal and a lot of hardware in them that you can actually kind of sell as expensive items. The tuners and the brackets, and the more brackets they have, the supposedly more value they are. Like this is one made in Japan, pretty nice song to open. My banjo's got 18 brackets, actually 19 if you count the bracket holding the string stay. But no, how stuff coming out of Asia and all that, Chinese fiddles, Chinese banjos, they're like, nobody's really getting all excited about buying the expensive musical item anymore, instrument. Especially, like I said, we're training the kid up to the musical, what he's going to be in his life. He's going to be a band orchestra, if he's just going to shove that old instrument off in a closet somewhere to sell on eBay or at a garage sale sometime. Well, that gets me around to that leads me into my promotional part where I try to sell my books. And today I am pushing my science fiction series, Half-a-Rat, starting with Volume 1, The View from the Clock Tower, short story, and Volume 2, Half-a-Rat, A Journey North, and Volume 3, Half-a-Rat with a Song, and Volume 4, Half-a-Rat First Flight. And Half-a-Rat Volume 5, Work in Progress, will be out sometime near the end of this month, November. as yet unnamed, but it will be released last week of November, first week of December. Available on Amazon Books in print, Amazon Kindle ebook, and Amazon Kindle Unlimited.